This is the video introduction to experiment number 17. Build a railroad light circuit in the Mr. Circuit Basic Electronics Lab 1. The principal component in this circuit is the 555 timer integrated circuit. There are two resistors, the 33K ohm and the 6.8K ohm, along with the 10 microfarad capacitor that are connected to the external pins of the 555 IC. They determine how long and fast that each LED will be on. The two 220 ohm resistors are in the circuit to limit the current applied to each LED. When you connect the battery, the LEDs will immediately start blinking. You will notice that both of the LEDs are connected to pin 3 of the 555 timer. Pin 3 is sometimes positive and sometimes negative. So we have to connect the LEDs in opposite polarities. Thus, one LED will light up when pin 3 is positive, and the other LED will light up when pin 3 is negative. Be real careful when you install the LEDs on the circuit board. Make sure you follow the pictorial diagram and schematic. Since there are quite a few items to install on the board, here are the steps we suggest you follow to assemble the circuit. Step 1. Lay out all the parts necessary to build the circuit. There are two LEDs, 6 jumper wires, the color doesn't matter, one battery snap, one capacitor, one 6.8K ohm resistor, one 33K ohm resistor, two 220 ohm resistors, and a 555 timer integrated circuit. Step 2. Install the 555 IC straddling the center channel with pin 1 in hole 10E and the two LEDs. Watch the polarity carefully. Step 3. Install the jumper wire shown here and the 6.8K ohm resistor. Step 4. Install the 33K ohm resistor. Step 5. Install the two jumper wires shown here. Step 6. Install the jumper wire shown here. Step 7. Install the jumper wire as shown here. Step 8. Install the capacitor. Make sure the negative side is connected to pin 1 of the 555 timer IC. Step 9. Install the first 220 ohm resistor as shown here. Step 10. Install the second 220 ohm resistor. Step 11. Install the jumper wire as shown here. Step 12. Install the last jumper wire shown here. With that, your circuit is complete. Please look it over carefully to see if there are any bare wire leads touching that should not be touching. When you're sure it's wired correctly, touch the battery to the battery snap and the LEDs should immediately begin blinking. If they don't, check your wiring again. Now I'm going to demonstrate the railroad light circuit in action. Here is experiment 17, the railroad lights. We have the 555 timer. You've got two LEDs, a capacitor, 1, 2, 3, 4 resistors, and several jumper wires, and our 9-volt snap and the battery. Well, I think here comes the train. I think we better turn on the lights. Here we go. All right, everybody better stop at the crossing. Okay, time for you to wire this up, get all your parts, and see if you can make it work like I did.